Hey, welcome to Always Ask Why. My name is Michael. We'd like to dig into the past, maybe take a peek into the future to try to understand the events of today. The oldest religion in the world is called Zoroastrianism. It's basically what you call astrology today. And after looking at Gobekli Tepe, we know now that that's about 10,000 years ago. And the first thing that my eyes saw was the scorpion and the bull, which is Taurus and Scorpio. Now, in ancient times, people would not go to war, people would not expand their kingdoms, would not travel unless the stars were lined up a certain way. This even in the Bible clearly states that we knew a king was born, Jesus, because of the star in the sky. Abraham said he had a dream where God told him to look to the stars before he move into the land of Canaan. That was a religion, and a lot of the kingdoms were based on 2,000 years cycle, what we call the precession of the equinoxes. Now there's about a 25,000 plus year cycle to go in one circle. So you basically stay in a sign for about 2,000 years. About 4000 BC, we moved into Taurus, which is the time that the Sumerian kingdom began. And 2,000 years later, we move into Aries, which is the same time the Sumerian kingdom ended. And that's when Abraham left Ur and went down to the land of Canaan, because we moved into Aries, which is the ram, which is the conqueror. And if you think about the history of over those 2,000 years, think about who you know. We have this. We have King Agamemnon. We have the Trojan War, Achilles. You have Moses from the Bible. You have Joshua from the Bible, King David, Tutmosis III, Ramses the Great. You have Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, and the list goes on. And that lasted all the way till about 30 BC. And that's when Cleopatra dies and the end of the 2,000-year pharaonic rule ends. It also marks the time when we know about the Star of Bethlehem. We start moving into Pisces. And that early symbol for Christian church was the fish. And we know that the 12 disciples, they were fishermen. And that sort of duality, that good, evil, sin, non-sin, devil, hell, heaven, etc. And we stayed in that for the last 2,000 years. And I remember watching the news, and I think it was 2018. I watched that cathedral in France burn to the ground live on the whole world to see. And not long after that, I heard a woman on an anchor on CNN say, "Hey, if you're into astrology, something cool's happening. It hasn't happened in 2,000 years. We're moving from Pisces into Aquarius." Now, my view is that that the secret clubs that people belong to, whatever you want to call them, the Freemasons or whatever, these are people that just pass down this information, that they go off of these old cycles. And, when I see a prophecy in the Bible, I don't see it as a prophecy. I see the Bible as a playbook, a play written down a long time ago, waiting on a particular moment in time, actors not yet known. And how I know this is happening is because when I saw a commercial about this woman going to the store, she walked in, she used her hand, she scanned herself into the store. Nobody's working there, she's by herself. She gets her groceries, puts them in a cart, scans out, pays with her hand, and then leaves the building, smiling and happy. Look, I didn't have to use cash. I got to go in there. I didn't deal with no crowds, deal with no employees. I got to buy, sell, and trade simply by having a microchip in my hand. Now, you see that it may be convenient, but the person who came up with that knew that the prophecies in the Bible talk about that. The people who talk about digital cashless societies know that the end times talk about that. So in this one world government, the end times talk about that. Now, I do not believe it has nothing to do with divine intervention. There's no supernatural anything going on. This is just a time. It happens every 2,000 years. It happened 2,000 years ago with Julius Caesar. And if you think about cycles, think about this. 509 BC, Rome becomes a republic. Now fast forward exactly 2,000 years into the future, and you get to what year? 1491 AD, which is the year that Christopher Columbus packs up his boats and heads west to start the next republic. And 27 BC, Rome ends the republic, begins the empire. And we are 4 years away from the 2000th anniversary of that event. That'll be the last year of the next president. Now, if you don't think these things are related, then you know you need to go crawl back under the rock you live under, because all this craziness going on in the world is not happenstance. It's not organic. It's not from the ground up. This is being done to us to make it look like it's organic. And what they're doing is getting us ready for the next 2,000 years, which will be some type of transhumanism, new religion. That's why you're pushing transgenderism. That's why you're 76 different genders. Basically, what you're seeing happening is you're unbinding us from the last 2,000 years. A culture is bound together by the things that they teach their kids. Dads teach their kids this, the moms teach their daughters that. All that stuff is being ripped apart. So nobody feels like they're bound to any one group of people or to one nation or to any one way of doing things. You have to do that, because when the new way comes forward, you're going to have a lot less resistance if people are open to a new way. If they don't feel bound to an old system, it'd be much easier for the transition. So it's an interesting thing to talk about. Nobody has all the information. Nobody knows everything. Put down in the comments what you think. Is this just something that's kind of circumstantial, or is it someone behind the curtains sort of pulling the levers? Let me know what you think. I'd love to learn. Every day is a learning experience, and together we can go through it together. So thank you for checking out my video, and we'll talk soon.